So at this point, you were on the streets, and the cops tried to set you up. And at what point did you end up going back to jail?
Literally, I say I stayed out like maybe at that time a few months. I ended up getting busted again. Um, and when I got busted, this time I didn't even stay in the county, not even a day. They shot me straight to Wayside. And yeah, for the most part, it was easy. At that time, a lot of chain reactions were going down. So that just means like there's a riot in this one. As soon as they lay down, we jump up, and it was like a lot of that going on. And eventually, like I ended up getting shipped to a pod. I think it was like 712 or something, or yeah, I think it's like 712. After I had got out the hole, they had sent me to 712. So when I went to 712, there was a homie right there that I had been doing time with, like since juvenile hall, everything. But some dude that had rolled up in the pod, and he was like, what you would probably consider like my primo, like my cousin, whatever relative, whatever way you want to say it. And I knew this fool. He was like always one of those wild fools, but we had always been solid, had each other's back more than a family member. Like, he's a solid dude, But I also know he had his little issues, and he wanted to be something so bad, as far as like he wanted to be a little gangbanger, and he never really had it in him like that. And he always did like stupid shit. Well, like me and this dude, like I said, was close, but I noticed like when he came to the pod, we were a little we talked, but we were a little distance. You know what I mean? There was just shit about him that was kind of a little off to me, so I didn't know uh what this dude was up to. You know what I mean? But to make a long story short, like
So
this.
at one point, he ended up disrespecting, or he was doing something
Oh yeah,
that
this
people didn't like.
this freaking idiot. Uh, that you got the bathroom stalls. He's in the bathroom stalls putting 13s and like whacking it out. He's whacking the suit out. He was whacking it like and leaving like little stupid messages. And for a long time, like I know him, so I looking like, damn, that looks like his writing, but I didn't want to say nothing. I just kind of give him the benefit of the doubt. Somebody caught him.
Did you talk to him before that and have him ask him to calm down or tell him to chill out or something?
What happened is when the homie told me, because I had already told him that fool was my primo, so the homie got at me and was like, hey, your primo's doing this and this and that. As far as like disrespecting the homies, crossing, whacking it out, he's like, hey, fool, the homies don't even want him to be here, So I go get at him, you know what I mean? And I try to get the dude to roll it up out the pod before any issues. And he didn't listen. He just basically told me I don't give a fuck. And so I had to go tell the homie he didn't give a fuck. And
so then at what point, like a fight or a riot or something happens?
This idiot, he didn't want to roll it up. The blacks wanted to roll it up, but he didn't want to roll it up. So it like with anything, there's some things can't be talked about. So everybody just started getting busy. Like once I put my shoes on, homies, we got it cracking, and they had the ride for him, but it still didn't stop it. I just told him in advance before it even happened. I told him, hey, fool, just keep your distance from me, because it's still family. Like, hey, just keep your distance from me, good, It's just something that's gonna happen, and everybody was looking, knew it's gonna happen. So he like, all right, well, I'm upstairs fighting and shit, and somehow this fucking idiot makes his way upstairs, and I don't know, for some reason I just happened to look, you know what I mean? Like I feel it. And as soon as I look, I already see the fool. He tried to bomb. He tried to hit me from the side and the side of the face. And when he tried to hit me in the side of the face, he missed. And when he missed, he got beat the fuck up. Like I just start smashing him. All I know is I just tell you like this. He ended up with his hands on the bars, gripping for dear life. Somehow I think somebody, kicked him in his face, kicked him in his chest, and he finally let go of that grip. Granted, we were cleaning that morning, so all the bunks were pulled out. One of the homies told me, like, hey, he had already warned me about that, so he told me, he's like, hey, fool, don't trust that fool, whatever. I'm like, hey, don't trust my primo, whatever. He got thrown off the tier, and when he got thrown off the tier, he landed face first on the bunk. But see, usually they don't have 3 bunks, like the 3-tier bunks on the front row. It's usually to the back of the wall. But this one had it in the front. And when he hit that, fuck, like it sounded like somebody cracked him with a wooden bat on his head, and just that the sound of the metal when he smacked it, like
Mm.
but he didn't die or nothing. He just cracked his shit like real bad. His face, his fucked his neck up. Uh, it did something to him. I think to this day he's kind of like a vegetable. Like he doesn't function too well. Real slow on thought. His mom can't stand me, but yeah, he's a little slow. But if the bunks wasn't there, he would have died, cause he would have landed flat on the floor. But that bunk stopped him from hitting that ground when he came over that tier. He didn't want to let the rail go, but like I said, you know, somehow he got kicked in his face and in his chest, and he let go, and he smacked his face. But what from my and that's how I seen it. After that was there's no such thing as blood is thicker than water. It's about who bleeds the most in situations of that nature. I learned after that there's not too many people that don't represent that S that I can trust when it comes down to it. Like I've been in riots and people that I know will pass right by each other. My primo, we could have did that too, but he chose to be a sucker and try to hit me, and he ended up almost paying for his life. Like I said, if that 3-tier bunk wasn't right there, he was hitting that concrete face first. I think he was already knocked out when he hit it, because he did get kicked in his face like really hard, you know.
Mm.
But you know, it is
Yeah,
what it
It
is.
is what it is. So at one point you ended up fighting life. Can you talk about the first time that happened?
The first time I had 4 robberies, and
Or you were accused of?
yeah, they had they had accused me of 4 robberies. But basically, what happened? It was just, you know, some dudes that were trying to basically smut me up because they had got stabbed up, whatever. Uh, and yeah, they had got stabbed up. So I guess that was their only way of trying to. Not saying, you know, I had anything to do with it, but they had got stabbed up like bad in the wrong spot, trying to do the wrong thing, and I guess they got up. But so I got busted. I was evading. I ran to an abandoned house hiding. My other homie was smart. He took off, you know. I was just like, you know, nah, you gotta stay put. He took off. I stayed in an abandoned house and ended up like dozing off, but you know, trying to be quiet. But I guess somebody had seen me, so the cops came in, draw down, whatever. Uh, before I even got to Devonshire division, they had already like, yeah, you know, we know about the robberies, and like, and it was just like, so they put, from that they had dropped it. I went to the police station. I stayed there. I went to Van Nuys Court. Van Nuys Court gave me a DA reject, but they refiled it again, and that's the first time that I was facing life. But I probably went to like a few court dates.
So for people who don't know, what's a DA reject?
It just means when the DA doesn't pick the case up, it's no good. They don't. It's not that they don't have evidence. They just feel like they don't have enough evidence to support the case, so they just kick it out. But some people say they can hold it for up to 2 weeks and refile it, but others say no, that once it's a DA reject, it's a DA reject. But I think it's like they still have a time to file it, which was proven in my case. But yeah, they refiled it, and I forgot how much time they were trying to give me for life at that time. But what's crazy is because not that long after that, I ended up getting busted for the kidnapping, and that's when the second life came up. What they did, it wasn't that long after. So what they did is brought up the 4 robberies, and then the kidnapping. DA reject was on the kidnapping too. The witness came because it was all bullshit. She came. They DA reject from the gate. Not even a couple of weeks after that, they refiled it and refiled the 4 robberies, and that's when they were like, "Oh, you're facing 55 to life," and they were trying to get witnesses to come testify. Like they try to get.
So they tried to put everything together now. So they tried to bring the old shit back,
yeah,
and put it with the new shit,
yeah,
and try to make it one big ass thing.
yep. And I thought it was gonna work. I really thought that I was through. You know what I mean? And what's crazy is because when they picked me up on that one, I think I had just had my kid, and I was literally going down the street. This is like probably like 10 o'clock at night or 9 something at night. I'm literally going through Panorama City. No, the cop see me from, like, I'm talking about from the distance of where you're at, like all the way up the street, in a car that got tinted windows on the side. It's a little Honda, and my ex was driving it at that time. So didn't even look. It wasn't one of those type of cars that you just stand out and be like, oh, there's a gangster in the car. But they spotted me from that long and came and pulled me over and told me, hey, don't they call you wicked? I'm like, nah. They're like, okay, well, anyways, we already know who you are. You got a felony warrant, whatever. And they picked me up, and I'm thinking, okay, what is it? It's a kidnapping. I was like, they already dropped that. They're like, oh, well, they refiled. So from there, I was going to court, you know what I mean? And all that time, like through the county, it was like really, like in '98, it was really cracking in the county jail. Like it was really cracking in the county jail. It was really cracking in Wayside. So all that, all during while I was fighting my case, it was just like issue riots, like all the time. And I just was in and out of the hole, whatever. But yeah, they had to drop it. They had to drop
the whole
it.
thing?
They had to drop all of it. No witnesses were coming. One of them supposedly they said that she said she was scared, but it was just bullshit. They were the DA was trying to string it along to get more time, but yeah, they dropped it. You know what I mean? And
So that was all one big DA reject, the whole thing.
Finally they just
So were you in jail when all this was going on, or were you still
all that? No, I was in jail and
fighting the case?
Yeah, and I think it was Judge Green in San Fernando, which knows all my family, but has been put them away. Like all the major cases that they had, because a lot of my family have did infamous cases in the valley, like shit in the newspaper, like so. But I still chose to go trial by judge because I just felt something that I could get him.
So you let go of your jury by trial.
Yeah.
And you wanted the judge
trial.
to be the jury.
Yep. Because
Wow.
I just got that vibe that he wasn't believing nothing that they were saying. Put it this way.
What did your lawyer say when you told him you wanted to do that?
The lawyer felt it too.
Really?
Yeah. It's like, hey, there's always a 50-50 chance, but I think that the judge can be swayed in your direction. And just the way he was speaking, he was like wanting me to actually show him what took place. Like, you know what I mean? Just like, even though you can't show him what took place, but like, you could tell he was listening. And so I was like, and my mom was telling me, nah, you know, don't do it because that's Judge Green. Like this dude put your family members away, you know? So, I went judge trial and
So you went through the whole trial and everything?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you beat it by trial.
Yeah. No, by the judge said I wasn't guilty, but he still
right.
He still gave me the he gave me a county lid. He was like, you're gonna do a year in county. The injunction stands. The cops came to my courtroom like over 12 deep, saying that even if I beat this case, not to let me back on that street, you know, because fucking all my dope cases were calling. It wasn't my neighborhood, but like, don't let him back on the street. So what the judge did was is give me a gang injunction off of Columbus. He didn't want me nowhere on that street.
So did you get convicted of anything?
No, they just gave me the probation violation that time.
Oh, okay.
So after that, like I had did my time. I did like 9 months off of that year because they had took that, you know, when you only do like 5 something off a year or whatever. Nah, I did 9 months. I got out. I was out like maybe 4 months, 5 months, maybe 6. And then I got busted for the attempted murder.